Hello everybody, welcome to the show. I'm your host Hector T, and today we got the review video of the ZTE. Basically, it's an awesome little phablet phone here. It's the ZTE ZMax Pro. As you can see, it's pretty big. It's a pretty big phone. You can still use it with one hand. But it's huge. It is a 6-inch diagonal screen, so it is bigger than most phones. It is a little bit heavy, but I don't really feel a difference of it. Now, the first thing you will notice is its charging port on the bottom. And now, this is a USB Type-C connector, which means that it'll charge perfectly fine off your MacBook, the new MacBook Pros, with the USB Type-C connectors, and that's about it. So unfortunately, until I get another connector, I do only have the one charger that did come with this. But with that being said, the rest of the phone is fantastic. I picked it up for about $150 at Walmart, and it's actually relatively priced, actually, because for $150 you can't go wrong with the hardware that's in here. Because like I said, it's a 6-inch screen. There we go, now you can see it. The screen itself is full 1080p resolution, so it does have a good resolution. And of course there's the fingerprint in the back, as you can see. Now it does also have a 13 megapixel camera on the front, LED flash, and then that's the fingerprint sensor. So it's actually really cool. It's really handy at times. Oops. And of course, as you can see, because it's a big screen, it gives you the option if you want to turn it sideways, which most phones don't because, they're usually not that big. So you can have it this way, or you could go ahead and do it this way, just like a tablet. Like, say if you have a stand, which a lot of them, they have the kickstand, so it'll stand up just like that when you're watching something. And of course, you go through and see everything there. Now, of course, on the front, if you see, right here is a 5 megapixel camera, which isn't too bad, but the lens they used could be a bit better. Unfortunately, I have seen better images and video quality at 5 megapixel cameras. So this one's not the best 5 megapixel, but it gets the job done. If you need to do selfies and stuff, it is a pretty decent resolution. And of course, right above it is the receiver. Over here you have the home button, and then this is the multi-app button that brings up multiple apps that were open, so you can close them all out. And then the back button, and you can actually go ahead and change these around in the settings, which is pretty nifty. Let's see, up top you have the volume buttons, and then the power buttons, which actually has a bit of an engraving on it, which I don't think you could see it here. There we go. See right there, you can see it's actually engraved. So for a quick touch, you could feel that that's the power button. Pretty convenient. Now at the top, it does have a microphone up there, another microphone, and the headphone jack, because it wasn't one of those companies that, they wanted to do without the headphone jack like some other companies. And of course another microphone down there. So you got the two microphones, and back down here is the speaker. It's not too loud, but it's decent enough. Now, like I said, for the price, you can't beat it. You really can't. This is an awesome phone. It has an 8-core processor. It has 2 gigs. Yeah, it's 2 gigs of RAM. Now the processor, let's talk about the processor for a second. It's 8-core, 1.5 gigahertz processor, so it's relatively fast. And it can run a whole bunch of games on what would be, I don't know, maybe about 60 frames a second, if that. Here's a little demo right here. Little Big Planet. It's that Sackboy run. As you can see, unfortunately, on this camera that I'm using, it does only record in 30 frames a second. But as you can see, there's absolutely no lag. And it's actually, if you could see it, it's playing at 60 frames a second on my phone, which is fantastic. And especially with this whole big screen, it looks fantastic. So this is definitely a fun game playing or video watching kind of phone, whatever you're into. Oh, I died. But yeah, it handles games phenomenally. And of course video, you could go ahead and go to YouTube. And this is my gaming channel here. Do I have any? I don't have any offline videos. But either way, it's still, you can imagine it's a nice screen to watch videos on. Whether you watch Netflix, YouTube, Hulu, Craggle, whatever you're watching, it's fantastic. Now, like I said, one of the things that I was a little bit distraught about is the speaker on the back, because it's not very loud. And let me see. I'll put on here. Let's see. Oh, let me turn the Wi-Fi on. Okay. So, okay, let's go. Let's Google Play, and let's just put on today's hits. And see, here's an ad. You can get an idea of what it's.
But you may be able to deduct some of your moving expenses.
Good, because I'm gonna have to move again.
TurboTax. Now see, it is pretty decent, actually. Alright, so as you can hear, it is pretty decent, the volume of it, but like I said, if you're outside, if you're running around, if you're doing errands, if you're just, you know, casually listening to music, it might not really be as loud, because I'm in a quiet place, there's the wall behind it, so it's just going to reverberate that volume right back to the camera and to me. So it's kind of a bad example, but it's, like I said, it is good, you'll hear it, but better with headphones. Like, so the camera, let's check out the camera. Now the camera is pretty nifty. Like I said, the back camera is a 13 megapixel camera. Now, that being said, you might get a little confused when you're taking a picture on this phone, because the back camera is 13 megapixels, so that's equal to about, what, 4160 by 3160, or somewhere along those lines, resolution, which is way higher than this 1080p display. So, I'll give you an example of what that's like. Here's my little fake GoPro camera. And as you can see, while taking a picture of it, it does look a little bit too sharp. But that's because it has to downscale the picture that it sees, downscale that to 1080p for this display. Because as you can see, when you go ahead and view the picture itself, it might not show up on this camera because this camera is only 1080, but see, the quality's there. The quality's definitely there. I will say that. You could zoom in substantially, actually, because it's 13 megapixel. See? So it's actually relatively good. Now, there's a couple of different neat things about this camera. And there's the auto mode, of course. There's flash, there's HDR, there's time-lapse, and then there's front camera. I don't feel like taking a selfie. And then there's video, and now there's filters, which is built into it. And you could do a fisheye, which is actually cool because I actually have a fisheye lens. And it's really, really good compared to a real fisheye lens. See? It's pretty cool. And of course, there's a whole bunch of other different kinds of things you could do. Now, manual mode, I like manual mode. This gives you the fullest resolution of a picture. always. Sometimes on auto, it doesn't give you quite the fullest resolution that it would be at. But on manual, always does. Now in manual mode, it gives you that yellow bar so you can see where the horizon line is compared to where you're holding the phone. And then of course you have your shutter speed. You can slow it down as much as, what was it? I think it was like 80 seconds, which is awesome for time-lapse photos. Or you could speed it up all the way, if I can get there, to 25 thousandths of a second, which, unless you're outside and it's really, really bright, it's just going to be a black picture. Now, of course, you could change the ISO settings from 100, 200, 400, 800, 1600, which isn't too bad. You could do white balance. You could do intervals, which this is a timer setting. So say if I want a bunch of pictures and I want them taken 5 seconds apart from each other. That's what this setting is for. And then of course your focus. Now this is where it gets fun. Let me see. There, that's a good spot. Macro, of course, because it's close, you'll see it. And of course, I can actually have infinity focus, which allow me to focus on the back, behind it, but not focus on the camera in front of it. See? Gives me like realistic type of focus, which I love. I love that. So that's what you could do in manual. Now modes gives you the slow motion camera, which does 720p at 120 frames a second for slow motion. Multi-exposure, which blends pictures together in different ways. And then of course the panoramic. Now, one of my favorite cool little tricks that you can do with this phone, which doesn't really go over too much, is in the gallery. When you go to gallery, check this out. You can go into the settings and choose GIF Maker. Now from GIF Maker, let me go ahead and get a couple of different pictures here. Say if I want a picture of the kids playing. I'll just go ahead and pick a couple different kind of pictures. Hit next. And there it is. It's a little bit sloppy because some of them are different. Like that last one is at that higher resolutions when I had it in manual mode. But it's pretty cool. You could do speed, order, size, frames, stuff like that. It's actually really cool. And then of course you could save it. And I guess it saves it to the gallery. Now another cool little trick you could do. Say if there's something on here, like say I don't want somebody to look at my screenshots. Right? There you go. You hold it and you hit this little eye. And what that does is it hides it. Once it's hidden, you go into settings, manage hidden albums, and you could find it in there. It's pretty cool. Neat little trick with the phone. Now another cool trick with the phone in the settings, since it has the fingerprint scanner right here on the back, you can set that up, which is in the settings. Where is it? I forget where it is. Security and fingerprint. Let me put my pin in. And what it is wake up. You have different options for the fingerprint sensor. You can wake up and unlock your phone, obviously. You have quick open app where you use your fingerprint. When you press it to unlock it, it opens up an app. You can use it to take a photo. You could use it to answer a call. So it's pretty cool. You just tap it when a call comes in, picks up the call. Tap it when you're using the camera app, like so. Oh, I have that interval thing on. There you go. And see? takes a picture. Now, of course, the shutter speed's way too high, so that's why it's just a black picture. But yeah, you just use the fingerprint scanner on the back. Nifty little trick. Let's go ahead and go back to the settings. And what you can do with the app. Yeah, sometimes it gets weird with the screen orientation. See, because now this page doesn't go. Quick open app. Let's go ahead. Fingerprint 1. Which one's fingerprint? Well, actually, let me use this one's fingerprint 2. Let's go ahead and just open the camera with fingerprint 2. So we'll lock the phone. Fingerprint 2. Bam! Right to the camera. And you can do this with just about any app that you want to do. Focus. Picture. It's pretty cool. Yeah, so this version I have, what is it? I have Android 5, I know that. Android 6, I lied. Android 6.0.1, I have a system update, I have to put that in there. But yeah, 6.0. I don't know for sure if it's upgradable to 7 to Nougat, or if they're gonna release that information later on, or if it already has. I don't know. I don't really care. I like 6. But there is some system updates coming out for it. There was one recently I need to put in it. But yeah, so system's great. The hardware is fantastic. The battery life is fantastic. It's 3,400 milliamp hours. Now, because it is a huge battery, it does require the 2.1 amp chargers, which is what comes supplied with it, which those are usually tablet chargers. So you do need to look out for that if you're looking to buy aftermarket chargers, so like for the car, to have extra chargers besides just the one. You have to look out. It's a 2.1 amp. That's what it recommends. But the battery life is fantastic. It'll last. I've had super long battery life. Let me see. On standby, I've had, let me see, on this one alone, let's see, this one was using it for almost 3 whole days, and I still had 5% battery left after using it on the 3rd day. And standby was at 91% with 7 days left on the charge. So it was incredible. So the battery life on this thing is incredible. It's amazing. It lasts you. It'll last you a couple of days. Heavy usage, maybe a day and a half. But normal usage like me, it'll last you quite a while before you charge it. Just make sure to charge it properly to keep that battery life as optimal as possible. So do I think this is well worth it? Yes. Yes and no. Unfortunately, I bought this at Walmart for $150. Then I had to buy the SIM card, which did not come with it because it's one of those prepaid phones. So that SIM card was $20, so $170 total. If I had gone to T-Mobile, which I probably should have done to use my T-Mobile SIM card, then it would have been $175 to $180. And then, of course, if you go on eBay or Amazon or whatever, which I'll go ahead and I'll post a link in the description below, so you could check that out, see if you could score some deals on it. But like I said, that's in the description below. And the price varies from new, used, from 100 to 200, and it gets crazy. But yeah, so overall, great phone. It's got the hardware, it's got the software, it's got all the stuff you need to make a phone great. And the price, you really can't beat it, because this phone, really, in my opinion, this phone is comparable to, say, I don't know, Samsung phones, Apple phones, Microsoft, Lumia phones, all those high-end phones. You know, you can really compare it to those because it's there. It's got the features that they have. It's got the hardware that they have. Sure, Samsung has a 2.5 gig octa-core, but this is still at 1.5 gigs. It's more power saving, but it's still there. It's still got the performance. So that makes a difference. And because it's an octa-core, it's going to be able to keep up there. I did run some benchmarks on it, and I will admit, because the speed is a little bit slower, it didn't quite rank as high, but those are just stress tests. You know, for normal games like this, you know, it works flawlessly. 60 frames a second across the board, no problem. So yeah, so that's my taking of this phone. Is it worth it in 2017? Yes, absolutely. I definitely give this phone 5 out of 5 stars. It is fantastic. I've had no problems with it, except of course the normal hiccup, but that's to be expected. But other than that, the charger works fine. It charges in 2 hours. Full charge, 2 hours. I'm not kidding you. I wish I had a time lapse so I could do it, but I don't on this camera that I'm using. So, like I said, check it out. Check it out for yourself. Try it out. If you don't like it, you know, just whatever. But in my opinion, it's a fantastic phone. The quality's there. The hardware, it's amazing. For 150 bucks, 150 to 200 bucks, you cannot beat it because it's a high-ranking phone. It's not a flagship, but it's almost there. So, like I said, you could check out the link, score some deals on it, and think what you think. Figure out, see if you want to try it, see what you think. But yeah, so that's it for this phone. If I found out any other cool little tips and tricks about this phone, then I'll go ahead and, of course, make another video of those. But for now, go ahead, if you're new to the channel, go ahead and hit that subscribe button. Subscribe for more content. And of course, let's get some likes, show some support for ZTE. They're a small company, but they're growing. They're finally in stores now. They've always been online. It's a store out of China. But like I said, let's support them. Let's get them the recognition that they need, that they deserve, so they could keep coming back with more. So yeah, so that's it for this episode, with this review. And like I said, stick tuned, stick around. Make sure you subscribe, so that way you can get informed when there's some more videos coming out. I got some more review videos coming down the pikes. And we'll see you guys later.